No one admits it, but everyone has fallen victim to a Virgo's energy at least once, and almost always comes away scarred. It's curious how Virgo manages to combine lucidity and shadow in the same gaze, as if carrying a calm magnetism that hypnotizes even before you understand what's happening. And the most controversial part, contrary to what many believe, Scorpio is not the most dangerous sign of the zodiac. The real slow poison is Virgo, precisely because it doesn't seem dangerous. It seems too safe. But this security comes at a price. Virgo doesn't mess up your life in an obvious way. It reorganizes it. It enters slowly, understands your patterns, observes your weaknesses, adjusts you. And when you realize it, you're already caught in a dynamic that elevates and corrodes you at the same time. And the counterintuitive part? It's precisely this duality that makes you want to stay. Because Virgo delivers quick clarity. In just a few days, you discover things about yourself that no one has ever shown you. The big question, which no one dares to ask out loud, is, do you love Virgo because he's like a spell, or because he touches a part of you that was dormant? And that's where the story starts to get dangerous and irresistible. When someone crosses paths with a Virgo, the first thing they feel is a silent intensity, almost like a magnetism that makes no sound but captivates. They observe everything with an energy that blends mystery and lucidity, like someone who sees the soul through cracks. The person doesn't even understand why, but feels that there is a rare depth there, something that seems like destiny. And it is precisely this duality between sweetness and analysis that makes anyone want to get closer. But the closer one gets, the more this attraction begins to demand surrender. Virgo has that look that seems innocent, but reveals vulnerability and control at the same time, which intrigues those who get close. She's like someone who speaks little, but says everything in the way she sets the table, folds clothes, or notices details that no one else sees. This affects those around her because it creates a silent truth. This person truly sees me, and being seen this way creates invisible bonds that escape our limits of self-control. But over time, this charm begins to reveal other layers. The most curious thing is that Virgo doesn't make an effort to conquer. Their energy already does it on its own. It's a subtle kind of spell, built on the way they care, how they organize chaos, how they solve problems that nobody asked for, but are grateful for. The person feels they've found someone who brings clarity amidst the shadows, someone who understands even before you explain. And that's where the captivating mystery is born, a feeling of security mixed with a slight tension of destiny. Little does the person who approaches know that this attraction has a side that hasn't yet been revealed. As the relationship deepens, Virgo's energy shifts, almost as if their duality gains more clarity and less filter. The same gaze that once seemed pure magnetism now begins to notice everything, absolutely everything. It is here that you realize that this depth comes at a price, because Virgo doesn't let anything go unnoticed. Not even the small shadows you wanted to hide. And without realizing it, you begin to adjust your behavior so as not to disappoint them. It's as if their presence pushes you to the limit of your own self-control. Over time, that care that seemed like affection transforms into a silent demand. Virgo doesn't need to raise their voice. A raised eyebrow is enough, and you already know something has gone wrong. They correct details that no one else cares about, point out inconsistencies with surgical precision, and bluntly state the truth. And this can be as uncomfortable as it is necessary. You feel a strange mix of gratitude and irritation, as if you are facing someone who gives a lot, but also demands a lot. And this intensity begins to tighten. Just when you think everything is fine, Virgo shows up with a just one more thing that reveals how much they want everything to be perfect. It's almost like living with a mirror that shows you more than you asked for, accelerating your destiny and forcing you to look at places you've always avoided. This demand doesn't come from malice, but from the almost cruel lucidity they possess. They see potential where you only see vulnerability, and without realizing it, you're already deeper into this connection than you imagined. And the next step in this dynamic is much sharper. Living with a Virgo reaches a point where perfectionism ceases to be charming and begins to turn into a thin blade. They want everything impeccable: words, gestures, routines, intentions. This energy creates a silent pressure that demands constant clarity from those around them. It's as if their depth illuminates every detail, revealing even what you thought no one would notice. And this can deeply affect your vulnerability. The upside? You grow, and you grow a lot. Virgo has this almost surgical ability to see what needs adjusting and push you beyond your own limits. But there's a duality. While it helps you evolve, it can also wear you down emotionally. It's like dealing with someone who brings too much truth, as if they're always one step ahead, analyzing even your shadow. And yet, you keep trying to keep up. Deep down, Virgo doesn't want to hurt. He wants alignment. He wants order, coherence, commitment. But the way he does this demands self-control, both from him and from those around him. Sometimes a single comment is enough for you to feel like you've failed to meet his expectations. Other times, it's the silence that weighs heavily, as if fate is demanding a review of all your moves. You try to balance the energy between pleasing and being yourself, and this becomes a dangerous psychological game. And it is at this point that the spell begins to show its curse-like nature. The person realizes they are trapped in a quest for perfection. That perfection doesn't exist. But there is the Virgoan expectation, always high, always analyzed, always demanding. You wonder how far you can go before exceeding your own limits. And yet, there is something irresistible in this connection that pushes you to continue, even knowing that the next step may be even deeper and more intense. If this text is helping you see someone, or even yourself, more clearly, keep reading the next sections and delve even deeper into this Virgo energy. Feel free to share this content with someone who also experiences this duality and needs to understand this dangerous magnetism. Loving a Virgo is entering a territory where energy seems to be made of light and shadow at the same time. It offers a depth rarely found, that feeling of being in the presence of someone who truly understands you, sometimes even better than you understand yourself. This lucidity is enchanting because it provokes evolution, brings clarity, and orders the inner chaos. But that's precisely where the danger lies. No one comes out the same after loving a Virgo. It stirs up layers you swore were locked away. The truth is that Virgo transforms because it teaches. It shows the boundary between who you are and who you could be. And that hurts, not because it's cruel, but because it sees vulnerabilities you've tried to hide so many times. It provokes growth in an almost inevitable way, as if destiny had placed this person in your life to reorganize everything. And when you try to escape, the magnetism pulls you back, like a spell that hasn't yet revealed its final verse. At the same time, loving a Virgo demands self-control. It requires consistency, responsibility, and truth in the smallest details. And this constant demand can wear down even the strongest, because Virgo loves intensely, but also observes with the same intensity. It notices every hesitation, every shadow, every word that doesn't match the action. For some, this is transformation. For others, it's destruction. It depends on how much you're willing to confront yourself. That's why those who get involved with Virgo usually come out better or broken. It's the kind of love that molds, sharpens, refines, and propels. But if you're not prepared for so much truth, so much clarity, and so many high standards, this love becomes a curse. Loving Virgo means accepting that they will touch your deepest points and perhaps rewrite your story. And yet, it's almost impossible to resist this kind of energy, because there's something about it that seems like destiny. Now that you understand the complex, profound, and dualistic energy that Virgo carries, the question that remains is simple but unsettling. What are you going to do with this clarity of mind? Because there's no point in acknowledging the spell if you continue to ignore your own limitations. Loving a Virgo, or living with someone like that, isn't for those who run from themselves. It's for those who have the courage to look at their own shadows and still choose to evolve. And let's face it, courage is a rare thing these days. So think about it. What patterns of yours need to be revised after reading this? What parts of your vulnerability have you been hiding? And most importantly, are you ready to love someone who will touch your deepest truth? Or will you continue to sabotage yourself with shallow loves? These questions aren't meant to scare you, but to provoke you, to make you realize that understanding Virgo is, in fact, understanding yourself. And if you take this seriously, you've already begun the transformation that many spend their entire lives avoiding. If this content stirred something within you, take advantage of the momentum. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stick around. There's still so much knowledge that nobody tells you, and that can completely change the way you relate to others and to yourself.